Hello everyone, welcome to week 3 of Portfolio Project 1, and we're moving along through the course pretty steadily. Everything seems to be going smoothly so far. We've just wrapped up the portfolio subject selection, and you will have received my feedback on that. I did not see a problem with any of the portfolio subjects that were selected, so great job on that. I think each one should provide a good basis for your portfolio subjects. In some cases, they are your own personal brands or your personal companies, and those work well because they're your own and you have complete creative freedom. And they also, as I said in the feedback, has the benefit of serving double duty because it fulfills the academic requirement, so you can check these off as you go along, and also at the same time are furthering your own professional goals and your business goals. So that's a little added bonus. So at this point, you are working on identifying your target audience. Now, I know you probably haven't reached the research course yet, so some of the factors that, like specific demographics, you may not know any definite answer for. But I will give you some pointers on finding some of those things at this point. Some of the factors that you'll want to include in describing your audience include basic demographics. So, for one thing, if you are a business, then you might serve a local area, and so your audience would be specific to that geographic location. It might be a city or neighborhood, or it might be an entire state or countrywide. If it's something that's online and you don't have a geographic limitation, then it could be pretty widely distributed or worldwide. If your audience consists of a specific ethnicity or age group, or a particular religious denomination, these are things to consider. That is the case in some instances. I've seen subjects that are, say, a specific church, and in that case the audience would be that members of that church and that denomination. So that's going to limit the range of your audience. Their marital status might be a factor, as well as their level of income, their profession, their level of education. These are all really context specific, so some of these might not be relevant to your particular subject. Some of them maybe. Really, you have to use your judgment and decide what would be important. Like, would someone involved in a particular profession be more interested in your subject, whereas others may not? And hobbies as well. And so really you have to take this on a case-by-case basis. What factors are relevant to your audience? What factors make your audience more likely to take advantage of your subject's services? Some other factors to consider: how does your audience communicate? That's how do they communicate with each other? How would members of this group communicate? What methods would they use? Do they primarily use text messaging, call on the phone, they use social media, and so on. So just some examples. If your audience is say millennials, then they're probably text messaging a lot. They're probably using Snapchat. They might be on Facebook, and so on. If your audience are senior adults, like my mom, then she's going to be using a landline phone. She doesn't text. She doesn't use a cell phone unless it's an emergency, and so forth. And no social media because she won't touch a computer. So, so things to consider, and the reason that's relevant is because if you know your audience is using Facebook, then you can market to them on Facebook using ads through that avenue. You reach them where they're at using the channels that they use. So if they're newspaper readers, then newspaper advertising might be a way to go. If they are in the digital age and get their news online, then that's not going to work. Consider what their wants and needs are. Sometimes this is called pain points. What troubles are they having that your subject can help them fulfill? What needs do they have? If your subject's an entertainer, then that need might be the need for good music or good entertainment of some other variety. But for the most part, every business is serving a function that is defined by a need. What are those needs of your customers? And also, what solution does your subject offer? Consider why that audience member should go to your subject over all the competition. What makes them special? And what makes them stand out? Some of this information you can research. U.S. Census Facts is really helpful for getting the demographics of a specific town, sometimes down to a specific zip code. So really helpful. Pew Research does tons of media research. They do they release a report every year on social media use. And the Nielsen, as you might know them from the Nielsen ratings, they do research on media use as well. And they have some interesting information on a variety of topics related to media. Here's some examples. This is U.S. Census Facts for Winter Park, Florida, where Full Sail's headquartered. And this is just a small part of this report. This is age and sex of the local community, broken down by percentages. And in addition, they had ethnicity, they had income level, they have number of children, and so forth. So lots of information to be gained there. This is a excerpt from the Pew Research on Social Media for 2014. So they haven't released it 2015 yet because the year's not over. But this is relevant information. This is the Facebook results, but they also had Twitter, they had LinkedIn, I believe Instagram, Pinterest, and a few others. So you get to see who's using it. So if you already have identified your target audience as in the 18 to 29 range, then you can see that 87% of them are using Facebook. And this is one of the many reports on the. This is actually from Nielsen. That's a mistake. But this is who's listening to electronic music. So if your subject is an electronic musician, this would help you define who your audience is. There's any number of reports on this site. This is just one example that I saw. Various genres of music as well as other forms of media, TV, and so forth. So take a look at that. They all have search features, so if you're searching for a specific media type, then that's available. As always, please let me know if you have any questions or any concerns. Otherwise, we're moving along pretty well, and I will be speaking with you all again soon.